Hi everybody, my name is Dr. Yasmin Flores and welcome back to the Arts at EPCC. With me today, I have dragged in one of our music majors, Miss Kaila Primero. How are you, Kaila?
Good, how about you?
I'm doing very good. Lovely to have you on the show. So Kaila, you'll have to understand that she's never seen the set. She's never seen, probably didn't even know so much that this show existed, except I did advertise it to my class. Thank you very much. And so she looks a little overwhelmed right now, but don't be. It's like my living room. This is my plant. We are in the jungle, right? In the jungle safari over here. And so in our jungle safari, we're going to talk a little bit today about you, about the music major and your experience and everything that you're doing. So Miss Kaila, born and raised here in El Paso, Texas, yes?
Yes.
Awesome. And you mentioned you went to Pebble Hills, you started EPCC this spring,
yes.
Right? Awesome. And so I know you from music theory class and sight screaming, which is actually called sight singing and ear training, BTW, right? That's the official name, but we affectionately call it sight screaming and ear straining. So how have you enjoyed your semester so far?
It's really good. Everybody's nice. It's just a great
place to be. There we go. I will fill in the words. Okay. I will fill in the words. It'll be like a game. Okay, so you are taking right now, the person that I'm the most excited about is John Feeney. Mm-hmm. I love John Feeney. He's got a wife, and hello, Mrs. Feeney, right? But John is like everybody's dad. He's just such an awesome individual. Trombone player, plays with the El Paso Symphony Orchestra, and he's your instructor on the tuba, right?
Yes.
Yes. Let me ask you some questions about the tuba. First of all, tuba, what is it? What is a tuba? Can you explain to us?
It's a horn.
It's a horn? It is?
Part of the bass clef family, low brass.
Low brass, yes. Bass clef, yes. Mm-hmm. Valves?
Yes.
Ticky, 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 right? Yes. Are there 4 of them?
It depends. There's some with 3 valves, some with 4.
Okay. And then isn't there something for the thumb too, or is that only trombone?
I think that's trombone.
Okay, just kidding. All right, woodwind player, hello. Okay, and so you play the tuba. What made you choose the tuba?
It just called to me. I mean, like 6th grade, do that. Our teacher has us going through all the different instruments, what they sound like and everything, what they feel like, and it just felt right.
Okay. What was your experience with the clarinet? Were you suddenly quickly turned off by it? Was it like squawk, squawk? No?
It didn't make my list.
Okay. I love it. It did not make my list, she said. Okay. And so you chose the tuba. And so what was one of the first solos you played on the tuba when you were young?
In the hall, the Mountain King.
Oh, how fun. How
Yes.
fun is that? Awesome. And so you really enjoyed yourself with the tuba. And did you do UIL? Did you do like contest, or what all did you do when you were younger?
Okay, well, in high school, middle school and high school, we did UIL. Mm-hmm. And then my sophomore year of high school, we did UIL and we made it to state.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Very good. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So now talk to me about your lessons on the tuba and the kinds of things you practice to get people to really understand. Again, woodwinds. So woodwinds, all the woodwinds it's something that you put inside the mouth except for the flute, right? Which I've heard that flute players make great tuba players, BTW. Right. Maria Silva, who sits kind of close to you in class, she could play the tuba, but I want her to stay on the flute. Stay on the flute, right? Don't get crazy with me. So what do you enjoy? Like I want to know about this tuba. So you had to buzz, right?
Yeah, a lot of buzzing. A
lot of buzzing. When we say buzzing, I'm afraid of what we're going to do to the microphones and the distortion that we will cause if we start to buzz. But it's basically like right? It's that so putting your lips together and making that buzzing noise. Now that was more for trumpet because that was a very tight buzzing.
Yeah.
And so the tuba is a looser buzzing, right? More right?
Yeah.
Essentially, yes. And so, because it's got a big mouthpiece, and so you have to buzz softer and not as compressed as the trumpet. And then what books are you playing out of right now? What are you doing in Mr. Feeney's lessons?
Well, right now we're working on our basics like scales, warm-ups, slip slurs.
Yes.
Establishing the low notes and everything.
Cool. Yes, very good, very exciting. So have you seen a great deal of progress since January to now in your playing that you could say this is pretty substantial?
I like to say my range is getting a little bit better.
Nice, nice.
I used to have a hard time going to very low notes, but it's slowly getting better.
Okay, that's awesome. That's very good. And then you're also taking concert band at
Yes.
EPCC with Mr. Irving Cuellar. How do you like working with Mr. Cuellar?
Oh, he's amazing. Really nice. Really fun to be around.
That's awesome.
Class is fun.
Yeah, I like Irving. He's a really nice guy. He studied with Larry White at UTEP and with Bugsby at NMSU. So really, really sweet guy. And really glad that we chose him as a band director. And so you all are playing a few pieces that I gave to Mr. Cuellar. I said, look, I have these little gems, right? So I used to teach the band class, and I gave it up because my plate was starting to get very full at EPCC. And I was like, I've got the baton, I've got the music, I've got the agendas for the meeting. But I used to teach band. And so I will tell you that one of the beauties of our concert band is that you get to learn the grade 1 and grade 2 repertoire, because if you one day, hypothetically, I'll put it in your head in case it's not there, if you become a band director, right, you're going to start off usually in a middle school job, and you're going to be playing the grade 1 and the grade 2 literature, right? So you're going to remember these little gems. All right, like one of my favorites is Connemara's Sketches. It's a great piece. I have it in my collection. If you all want to borrow it and like accidentally perform it, that would be super awesome, right? Yeah. So, okay, so you're having a great time in band, and you all have the showcase is going to be pre-recorded this year.
Yes.
Yes. May 6th is the pre-recording. It'll probably be posted to our YouTube channel for EPCC Music the week after, like May 11th-ish, right around in there. And so, are you excited for that? You all are gearing up for that, yes?
Yes, we are. We're working really hard.
Awesome. How many pieces do you guys have so far?
Let's see. We have Adventures in India. We have Siege. We have Waltz. And we just got 2 new ones.
Cool, nice. Yeah, maybe I don't know. I might slide a couple more over to Mr. Cuellar and say, see if they can do this one, right? So that's really awesome. I'm very glad to hear that. Now, let's see. So, let's define my courses that I teach. And I always love to pry into the brain of the student and like now, obviously, it's going to be biased because it's my show, okay? I've already told her, listen, okay? Be polite. Don't scare them away. We're trying to recruit, okay? So, music theory, what is the difference between music theory and sight singing?
Well, sight singing, how should I say this?
You look at it,
yeah.
sing it.
You look at it, you sing it, you learn the solfege, you get the pitch.
Yeah. Yes, all of those things. And you have a lovely little voice over there. You're still a little bit timid, but there's several of you that have a very nice voice. And you could join the choir, which is actually pronounced choir, by the way, everyone. Okay? I know. What am I doing? I'm like teaching people everything incorrectly. But we'll fix it. We'll fix it. Yeah. So you are in my sight singing class in the solfege. Let's define solfege. What's solfege?
It's like the name of the note depending on the key.
Oh, the name of the note depending on the key.
Or I don't know how to pronounce.
Maybe we kind of flip that definition around a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's movable dough.
Yes.
Okay, and so let me define that for you. This is a teaching lesson. So there's fixed dough and there's movable dough. And so I kind of mentioned that in class early on, but it's probably one of those things that may have like, okay, whatever, Dr. Flores. So movable dough is what we do here in the US, where if you're in the key of D major, 2 sharps, D is dough, right? If you're in E flat major, 3 flats, E flat's gonna be dough, right? So that's movable. In other parts of the world, fixed dough is basically, that means that C is dough, D is re, always, always.
Yeah.
Right? So we do movable dough. And so what the principle behind that is to get you all to understand scale degrees, okay, in any key, So G major, right? G major, if I said, what's sol in G major? What's sol in G major? Putting her on the spot.
So it's a D?
Yes, exactly. Right, so you're starting to connect those dots. Sol is scale degree 5, right? Okay, very good, very good. A plus, Dr. Flores, for teaching Kaila. Very good. Now, so that's sight singing. Music theory is how to write music, right? So what have we done so far in class?
Well, we started off with, we have intervals, we have our chords, 7 chords, and then we have our scales, and then we have our,
I've got, and I can't sing any more of that song, because if I do, that's a copyright issue.
right.
And I'm like not even joking. I can't sing the rest of that song. I have to sing only those 2 notes. But it's rhythm.
Yes.
Right? Okay, so we talk about rhythm. Yes? 1 T teta, 2 T teta?
Yes.
Yes. Half the class does Eastman, the other half does the 1 and 2 and system. It's okay. It's going to be all right. We all get along. We get together. We do both. Yes?
Yes.
Awesome. What is your favorite part of music theory? What part are you good at that you're comfortable? You're like, oh, okay, whatever.
I'd like to say I'm comfortable with everything.
Nice.
I just love theory in general. I don't think I could pick a favorite. And I'm
Okay.
being really honest. I'm not being biased or anything.
A plus plus. Excellent. Very good. I love it. So you like theory. Interesting. Are you, now let's talk about you and your dreams, your aspirations, right? What's Kaila going to be doing when she turns 30?
Well, hopefully I'll be, let's say, not here for sure.
Okay, okay.
When I leave El Paso.
Okay, I understand.
Let's say, hopefully I'll be like in South Carolina teaching high schoolers.
Nice.
music.
Okay. Awesome, awesome. And so you said high schoolers?
Yeah.
So you're going to be teaching band?
Yes.
Yes, awesome. Or would you do general music? Or would you do both?
Probably like both.
Both, if
Yeah.
you could. That's awesome. There's not enough people teaching general music.
Right.
That's the issue. 100 years ago, in the 1900s, when I was young, we used to have a music teacher that would come to the classroom with a record player. Do you know what a record player is?
Yes.
Okay. They're also known as turntables.
Yes.
Okay. All right. They're so old that they're back. Like bell bottoms.
Yeah.
I was at a store. I'm probably not allowed to say what store. I don't know. Sometimes I say brands and then I'm not sure if I get into trouble. But anyways, I was at a store during the pandemic and I hadn't left the house in like literally a year. Okay. And so I walk into the store and I'm standing in line and there's a lady in front of me with bell bottoms. And I was like, well, oh, okay, we made that decision. All right, okay, that's bizarre. That's very weird. I hadn't looked at Vogue. There I go with brand names. I hadn't looked at any of the fashion catalogs or anything to really know that bell bottoms came back, right? And where was Kaila to remind me of that? Where were you? I needed you to tell me that bell bottoms were back. Anyway, records. This is what class is like, by the way. It's like the train to Random Town. Yes, so records when I was young, what was I talking about? I was talking about, the lady. Her name was Miss Bird. And she used to come around to our classes and we would sing like these happy little songs, right? And that's where we got ear training. Yes, those two bad words, ear training. And so I feel like, and I have this discussion sometimes with you guys, is that I think that's where my generation got a lot of our ear training is from elementary school, singing the little kookaburra sits on an old gum tree. I hope that's not copyrighted. That's too old to be copyrighted. Oh, anyway, yes. And so, okay, back to theory and back to everything else you're taking. You love theory. You love every aspect of it. You're good. You understand. You ready for the midterm tomorrow?
Yes.
That's awesome. That's the sound I like to hear. And then let's talk about it. So you're taking lessons. You're taking band, piano. You're taking class piano. Talk to me about class piano.
Okay, well, for me it's kind of simple. It's just piano 1. I've already been taking piano for a while.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's really cool. The teacher's very nice. We go through our assignments each of the week, and we only have it once a week, and every other Friday, depending on which class it is or group. So we go through our book. We learn our scales, our 5 major finger patterns.
Yeah.
Chord progressions, or
yes.
Yeah, just basic piano.
Okay. All right. And the instructor is
Dr. Mesa.
Dr. Mesa, exactly. Yeah, and he's an institution here in El Paso. He's a really awesome pianist, classical pianist. And so you guys are very lucky to study with Dr. Mesa. These are my very pathetic piano skills right there. And they witness that in class sometimes. Anyway, hey, so you're taking class piano. You've done some piano. How many years have you played piano?
4 years.
Okay. And that's a lot because you're 19.
Yes.
Yeah. That's like a fifth of your lifetime. Yes. That was another discussion today that I had when we were talking about why not? Let's go down the randomness. So I was telling the class that when my grandfather was old, Christmas basically comes around like every 5 minutes. Because you've seen it 80 times. And so you're like, don't even take down the tree anymore. But when you're young, things take forever. Like when you were 5, Christmas took forever, right?
Yeah.
Because it's only happened 4 previous times in your life. And you feel like you've been around forever when you're 5. Right? We had this whole discussion today in Sight Singing 4. And I have a student who works with kindergartners, and she said, yes, they told me when I was young, right, which was like a year ago. Anyway, so you're going to teach band. What solos are you working on? Like for recital, because we have recital coming up.
Yes.
Okay, don't act surprised on this show.
No,
that would be
not.
bad. Okay. Like what? Okay, what solos are you working on?
I have 2 solos.
Yeah.
But I'm mostly going to probably do etudes. Etudes.
Good. Wonderful. Do you know what book they're out of, or am I putting you on the spot?
You're putting me on the spot.
It's okay. I promised Kaila that I wouldn't scare her with difficult questions. I'm sorry, Kaila. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
So what drew you... When was the first time you heard that EPCC had a music program?
I heard when my sister started here.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, and that was 2-3 years ago.
Okay. Now I almost want to ask who your sister was, but I don't know if you want to announce her name, but it's up to you. We'll blame Kaila.
I mean, she wasn't like a music major, but she was an art student, so she was around the classes.
Okay. So she wasn't a music major, but she knew about it.
Yeah.
Because their art is literally like right around the corner
and that's
from
how
us.
she knew about it. She'd walk by and she'd see people performing or with their instruments.
How cool. And so she told you about the program.
Yes.
And this is why we do this show. Because you're going to have a friend from high school, middle school, elementary that's going to be watching you on TV right now. You're going to have a cousin, a nephew, a whatever watching you and going, hey, Hey, it's Kaila Primero. Wait a minute, right?
Yes.
And so this is how we lure people in. It's more from people that know about the program, people that know the great things we're doing with the program, and you talk to your friends about it. Do you have any friends that you've spoken to? Now here we go again. Have you spoken to anybody about the EPCC music program?
No, I don't socialize much.
I need you to socialize. Okay. No, I know. You're not a millennial. Who are you? You are a what? Generation Z? Is that you?
I believe so.
Yes. Okay. So you socialize with Xbox and PlayStation? No, you're not one of those.
No.
No. Okay.
I'm not much of a gamer. I just sometimes I think I'm an old soul because I just rather be either reading, playing card games, or board games.
Yeah. Okay. There's a chess game by my office if you want it, by the way. I just left it there. I was trying to get rid of stuff. So let me ask you, we were talking about music a little bit earlier, and I want to kind of, wrap up the show with talking about this with you. What is your favorite kind of music to listen to?
I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm mostly into the oldies.
Mm-hmm.
I love all the 60s, 70s, 50s, almost forgot 50s. And then, not old, but 80s,
Yeah.
early 2000s.
Okay. That's so funny because to me, oldies is 50s and 60s.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, because I was born in the 80s. And so
Yeah.
I'm oldies is 50s, right? But it's
Yeah.
now it's the 2000s already. And so, okay, so who's your favorite of all time? Who's your favorite singer?
Probably Frankie Valli.
How about that? Okay. And what is it? What draws you to that music?
In my opinion, I think he just really has a unique voice, and then his style is just really amazing, in my opinion.
Yeah. How about that? That's so interesting to me to hear somebody your age like music from so long ago, and it's kind of crazy to me. That's awesome. So per era, who do you like from the 50s?
I don't think I could choose. That's a tough one.
We've got Elvis, late 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got, I know, the Big Bopper.
Yeah.
Yep. Richie Valens.
Oh, I like Richie Valens.
Yeah. Richie Valens is good. He's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So what about 1960s?
Oh, that's another tough one.
There's so many to choose from. The Beatles, maybe?
No.
No. Okay.
I keep mixing them up, but was the Beach Boys 60s?
Yeah, early 60s.
Yeah,
Beach Boys.
the Beach Boys.
Okay, the Beach Boys, how interesting. And so, okay. Wow. So Brian Wilson, do you study up on this music? Are you that fascinated? And if you're not, let me point you in the direction of Brian Wilson.
Okay.
When people listen to the Beach Boys, now you're going to get me on my trip. So there's some songs by the Beach Boys that they literally sound like they were slapped together in the garage.
Yeah.
It was yeah, okay, go. Is the microphone on? It's on. Record it. Whatever. But then you listen to Good Vibrations and the stuff going into the 70s, and then you start to realize how brilliant Brian Wilson was, and you're like, what? Right? You compare the really old stuff, the cheesy stuff, to some of the later stuff, to the point that it made the Beatles jealous. Mm-hmm. It was wait a minute, what? Who is this guy with these vibrations, right? So let me point you in the direction of some videos on Brian Wilson on YouTube. You really should check them out. They're really awesome.
Okay, then.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, anyway, 1970s, who do you like?
Oh, dang.
So this is the introduction of the disco era.
Yeah.
Are you into disco?
No, not disco, but
No. Let's see.
I'm trying to just...
Karen Carpenter? The Carpenters? No.
I wasn't a big fan of that one.
Okay. Boo on that. We've got, who's coming out in the 1970s? Billy Joel was out.
He was good.
He was good. Yeah, he still is. He's still great. Elton John.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, Elton John. Okay. And do you have a favorite song by Elton John?
I think it would be like, what was it called? Hello or something? Hello, hello.
Hello, 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 hello. You know what's funny? I'm not that familiar with Elton John. And so the few things I've heard, I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
I don't know. And that's my personal taste. Yesterday, I was practically reprimanded by one of our camera people who just about had a small, massive heart attack when I said I don't like rock. Now, I need everyone to calm down out there, okay? I know rock is very, it's a very broad area. But I think really, I thought about it this morning as I was showering. I was like, really what I don't like is heavy metal. That's really what it is. And that's more specific because as I start naming the bands I don't like, I'm like, okay, well, they're heavy metal. Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
kind of
Yasmin.
different.
It is different. Okay. And so I apologize on the previous show. I said I didn't like rock, but I do. I like the Rolling Stones.
Or
They're great.
Aerosmith.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
And
yes.
Guns N' Roses.
No.
No? Not Guns N' Roses?
Not Guns N' Roses, sorry. I don't like Guns N' Roses. I don't know what it is. And I think it was November Rain.
Really?
Wasn't that one of theirs? That
Yeah.
was played every day on MTV. Oh my God, shut up already. So literally, MTV back in the day, I don't know if you know this, but the M stands for music. And they used to actually play music videos. They don't anymore. It's all the Kardashians. Anyway, so, okay, 1990s, 80s. Who's your favorite?
Madonna or Cyndi Lauper?
Is for sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, I love Madonna.
Yeah.
What's your favorite song?
For her, it had to be Material Girl.
Yes, I heard it on the radio the other day. I was in shock on 99.9. I was like, because we are can't. They may have to bleep it out
Yeah.
because copyrights, right? So then Cyndi Lauper, yes, and she had some other great tunes other than Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Yeah.
The Bangles.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yes. Who do we have? We have Billy Joel, the Bangles. Oh, I could go off on 1980s music. 1990s, who do you like?
I'm not much of a 90s person.
I think you're my twin. I think, so it's funny, and they're telling me that we have to wrap up the show, sadly, because this is actually just a 30-minute show. But I will tell you, so Nirvana was 1990s, approximately 1992, 1993 when I was in middle school, but I was not a Nirvana fan because that was grunge. There was lots of dissonance in that, and I was used to the hip hop, back in the early 90s. I spoke about Heavy D and the Boys the other day. That was one of my favorite groups. You don't remember Heavy D and the Boys? No, you don't. No. Okay.
I do not.
It's okay. 2000s.
Selena Gomez.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. No offense, where I kind of forget about her because she's so young now.
Yeah.
To me, she's like a child. I see her and I'm like, Mira, how adorable. So there's Christina Aguilera. That's already older though. That's with Britney Spears.
Yeah,
That's in the
think so.
90s. Okay.
Damn.
I'm dating myself. Okay. Listen, Kaila. You have a lot of music listening to go do, okay?
Okay.
And a lot of videos to watch. But thank you for doing the show.
Of course.
Thank you for coming. And I'm so impressed with you in class. And so that's why I drug you over, right? Okay, to come on the show with us. And thank you. And everybody, we appreciate your time. We appreciate you all's time. Check us out on channel 13.2 and also on the EPCC TV channel on YouTube. All right. Bye, everybody.